¿Qué pasó?
We're live.
Hello.
Hi.
Let me brighten this up for myself. Hello.
We'll give a chance for folks to come in. How's life?
Life is great. I can't complain.
Like my
Um,
shirt,
I love it. So it says veganish,
because I'm a little vegan, but not.
and it's what complicated?
I don't know what. It's complicated. It's
Oh, it's
complicated.
complicated. It's like life. It's all good.
It's so good. Thank you
I'm
so
kind
much.
of living it,
You're kind of living your life.
right? You're kind of living it. That's how we all do. I'm kind of living life.
No hay de otra. I just put something like that on Instagram saying I'm living my best life.
There you go.
No hay de nada.
Man, I'm loving the hair. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Do you miss the pink or do you like the blue?
I'm loving the blue.
I like the blue too. But
I'm loving the blue.
I feel bad for the pink. I'm like, I'm sorry, pink. I liked you too.
Pink needed a little break, I guess.
Yeah, it was a
Pero
while, like 3 years.
blue. Really?
Sí,
Wow.
casi 3 años with the pink. So maybe I'll do 3 more of this one.
It's
A ver lo
beautiful.
que pasa. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Nery, for being with me.
I'm grateful to be here with you.
It's a new platform that I kind of started out. I just want everyone to get to know some of my favorite people and some of the people that I admire the most.
I appreciate that.
And
I appreciate it.
Our focus is going to be mostly the fact that you are a vegan dancer.
Okay.
See? And we know that there's a lot of folks out there that are also vegan, and there might be a lot of people that are curious about what it's like to be a vegan dancer.
Sure.
But first, we want to get to know you a little bit, just in case there's someone out there from how many followers you have? Like 50,000 followers?
Oh, something like that.
Some might not know you. So, tell us about you, your background, your name, what do you teach? Thank you.
Okay, well, everybody, my name is Nery Garcia. I am originally born from Newark, New Jersey. My parents are Salvadorian. They're Central American. And I've lived in Florida for about 30 years. And for the first time ever, I left Florida last year and was out in California. And then I'm back here in Florida. But I'm a professional salsa dancer, Latin dancer. I've been doing that for about 21 years and just loving it. I'm growing more and more in it. And it's a dream come true. I used to do real estate and I had money back then, and but I wasn't rich. And that's one of the things that, made me discover that dance. Maybe I'm not rich like everybody thinks monetary wise, but I'm the richest I've ever been at this point in my life. So I'm glad that we're talking, because it's like perfect timing. With all these social media platforms, we get to reach out everybody, and it's pretty cool. Love it.
Because I miss you. I always say it in your pictures. I miss you,
I know.
Daddy.
I know. I hear my students, they're like all going out dancing and things are going on, but it's crazy. Like this whole COVID thing has really made me appreciate being in contact with people physically, but we adapt and we find other ways to connect with the world, and this is great.
It kind of reminds me of the telephone days, because when we were in DR and my dad had to call when he was here, he came first. He came 7 years before we came. You know how the process is.
Yeah.
So he would call with a calling card from the payphone in New York.
That's right.
And we would have to wait at a certain time for him to call. And it was like, okay, he's going to call back in the weekend.
Right. Like everybody's around the phone.
On the phone waiting. Everybody gets like 5 seconds. So it kind of takes me back to those times. And it's like on the Zoom and on the WhatsApp and trying to catch up with everybody. But
I know.
you said you had 21 years of dance experience. What did you
Yeah.
start first? Did you start with salsa or did you start with like a Salvadorian music?
It was like I didn't care for Salvadoran music, which was like cumbia.
Yeah.
And so my family would always be dancing. They'll go to street parties in El Salvador, and they have those big festivals, and
Hmm.
they block parties.
See.
And I was the one kid. All my sisters would be out dancing, and I'm like the one kid that's like falling asleep on the chair, waiting for the night to be over so I can go home. Right? You got kids, you know how it
Yeah.
is, right? And so I was that one kid. I was like trying to, you know. And my dad used to get really upset because he was a dancer. My mom, all of them, and he's like, my only boy doesn't want to dance. And I'm like, I hate this stuff. And my mom told me something that I'll never forget. She always said, son, if you dance, you'll never be alone.
Mm,
And I'm like, what are you talking about? As a kid, you don't know. But it stuck with me. And look,
I know,
it's
right?
true. So
Serena
true.
says hi.
Hi, Serena.
She says she loves the hair.
Hi, your hair, not mine.
Yeah, bye. I mean,
That's
I'm a
awesome.
big advocate of trying to get the kids to do something to get the kids out there. I wish the boys would dance. They did when they were babies, but now they're so into tech. I think they picked up from Dario. They're so techy. It's
And
computers and
and it's okay because I
yeah.
was I was a DJ for techno music
Mhm.
before I even got into Latin music or even dance. But it was a girl that got me wanting to learn how to dance.
Yeah.
Because I would see my buddies, they were dancing merengue, bachata, and they had lines, and I'm like, this is insane. And my buddy was like, 150 pounds, no, well, 200 pounds probably, and he was having a great time.
All the girls
It
waiting
Yeah, so I was like, man, I better get on this,
on this
dance
dancing
train.
thing.
That's how it gets started.
I know. In DR, it's almost like in that 15, 16 era. Like you have the quinces and the Sweet 16s, and
Hmm.
that's how the boys and the girls start dancing, and then there's no stopping them. That's
That's right.
quince season,
Quince
hunting
season.
season, hunting season.
And
Uh,
they start early over there.
oh, sí, a los 15, yeah, you got it. And then everybody has to be in your sister's quinceañera. You
That's
have to.
right.
You don't get a choice. Um, Tell us about your early teachers. I know that we had a conversation a while back about your very first salsa instructor and how much he's dear to
Yeah.
you.
So before I even met Edie, so
Hmm.
Edie, I give a lot of credit to. I knew I wanted to learn how to dance. So uh, a very good friend of mine who I actually dated for many years, Dominican from La
Mm.
Vega. She loved dancing, and I love dancing too. And I remember once we were watching Sábado Gigante,
Ay, ay, ay.
and this guy came out and started competing and started doing flips and all this stuff. I was like blown away because I was like, I've never seen salsa like this, and I love it.
Mm.
And I got really hooked on it. And there was a competition called the Mayan competition in California.
You know, that's how
And
I fell in love with salsa. Watching it
this,
in New York, the Mayan.
yeah, the Mayan.
Oh my God, why
And
doesn't anybody talk about the Mayan?
we owe so much to the Mayan because the Mayan competitions is what inspired this generation to keep going and
Hmm.
creating more. I loved it so much that I flew out there to watch it live once.
Oh my
and
gosh.
and so one of my cousins is a competitor. His name is Christian Oviedo,
Mm.
and Christian was competing there, and I was going out there, and I never competed. I was watching these people, and I was just blown
Wow.
away.
You know,
I
that's
was
the
blown
first
away.
time that I saw same-sex couples.
Oh, really? Okay,
Oh
that was
yeah.
later then.
It was like
Yeah.
2000, 2003. And I was like, wow, look, two guys are dancing together. That looks cool.
Isn't it cool
Oh, I
like
love
to
it.
see that? And so for me, the Mayans started it for me, and then I got to meet people like the Vasquez brothers. And I got to meet like all these other dancers that, were just from LA, and I was blown away by how creative they were. Because the routines weren't just salsa, they were like coming out of a phone
Yeah.
booth,
Oh
Alex
yeah,
da
there were like
Silva.
shows.
Yeah, there were shows. I mean, this guy brought a phone booth to the freaking competition, and smoke was coming out of it. I was like, "What is this? Who
Full
competes like this?"
productions.
Right, and it was amazing, and so that really pushed me. But I didn't know where to go and learn, so I got this one DVD called "Dance with Me" something, and it was this guy. I can't even remember his name. He was doing like the weirdest salsa steps ever. And I said, "This is not what I saw, but I'll try it." And little by little, DVDs were the thing in, and I got into meeting Edie and her ex-husband Al, and those guys were just like amazing.
Wow.
See them perform, and so yeah, Edie is one of the main reasons, if not the reason, why I'm still here doing what I love to do, and I'm so grateful to her, because she always told me that. For every person that would dance with me, right, they will build me up.
Yeah.
Either if it was negative or positive reaction to my dance, that it would always build me up. So every dance that I sat down was a dance that I was missing out and growing. So
Mm.
that was like, I was like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
man, that's deep. And
that's
then she
true.
told me, and she tells this to a lot of guys, treat me like a Bentley,
I
not
know.
like this, like a Porsche or a Ferrari. Treat me like a classic, beautiful car. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
so
that's
she
sexy.
knew how to talk to guys and how to motivate them and keep them going, or
I
else I would have
agree.
quit.
Oh
You
man,
know?
that sounds amazing. Treat
Yeah.
him like a lady. I think that's where I got because in our beginner class we're very um focused on telling the guys to be gentle to the ladies and be very elegant and smooth and always ask her like show your hand and she will come like a gentleman.
Right.
But from
Right.
you I got that you should pick her up put her back exactly where you found her. Do you remember
Right.
that?
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's one of the things
Yeah.
that I saw when you were teaching beginner class. I was like, oh my gosh, that is something really cool. Like if you found her in this corner, walk her to that corner. Don't just leave her stranded on the dance floor. And I was like,
Right.
that's one
And
of
it
the
makes
things.
it clicks, like it clicks so well for everybody,
Yeah,
because nobody gets that anymore,
yeah, they're
you
not a
know?
lot of gentlemen or gentle women.
No.
Uh-huh. And if I pick up a guy to dance, and I make sure that I put him back where I found him.
That's right. And that's happened to me before. They're like, I found you over here. So,
I go and put him
but
over there. Now, one of the things that is really I'm fascinated by you is that you being able to catch this viral craze in almost every single platform that you
it's
have. And
crazy.
oh my gosh, it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. But it just picks up. What do you think you credit that to? What is it about
Well,
you that makes you go viral?
I, with salsa and dance in general, it's just a certain topic. It's a certain genre that you get to work with people, right? Just
Yeah.
people that want to learn how to dance will follow me, right? That's why I also do how to dress. Like I have videos where I teach men how to dress, how to pack, how to shave. These are videos I did like 8 years ago, but I'm bringing that back in my new website. But those things are things that women appreciate from a man, right? And men appreciate that they learn what is the etiquette on this whole social dancing.
Yeah.
But I do have to credit. I mean, I didn't know what YouTube was. I come back. I'm from like the MySpace era, you
See,
know.
I still have my MySpace.
I
I
can't get in there.
collecting dust.
But it's crazy because I had a friend of mine that filmed me dancing in BTS, Born to
Mhm,
Salsa in Miami, right?
mhm.
And he's like, and I was dancing with Tanya La Alemana at that time,
See,
and he's like, can I take a video of you dancing? And I said, yeah, no problem. And I remember I used to see guys that when they were being filmed, they
mhm,
would dumb down their moves.
mm,
They would dumb it down so people wouldn't steal their moves. I always thought it was the opposite. You give because you can.
yeah,
And that's something that I follow now is like I didn't dumb down my moves with that video with
mhm,
Tanya. And that video was taken 12 years ago and it's still, it hit like 4 million hits.
yeah,
And so and of course, I got to thank Tanya for her success as
Hmm.
well, because,
Yeah.
it all works. She learned here in this house how to dance. And, from that we build and we share it. And
Yeah.
I think the power and the true gift is, don't close anything, don't hide anything, just share it
Hmm.
with everybody. And I
Yeah.
think that's what people realize is like, oh, you know what? These people are sharing. They don't care.
Hmm.
And it keeps working until yesterday. And we'll talk about that.
I
What
know
happened?
that's gonna be our next little thing. I always say
Yeah.
that if you can't get answers for questions that you don't ask, so it kind of goes for
Hmm.
videos. You can't get
Ooh.
a view on a YouTube video if you don't share it. Like who's gonna
If you
watch it
don't
if you
have
just
one,
leave it? Yeah, if you don't have one, yeah, to start with, but
keep it in my camera. That's
yeah,
all.
I'll keep it in my
Yeah.
camera and I'm gonna make that video. Or if you post it and you don't share it to Facebook or Instagram, no one is going to. It's not gonna get any play. And what I would say also is like support your local dancers if they share their videos and if they're very passionate and they're about their creativity. Give them a little bump and share it back. You know,
Yeah. I agree.
that's how we
I
help each
agree.
other. So I bring that up because one of the latest things that has happened to you is that Google picked up one of your videos for their newest
Yeah.
commercial. So how
It's
did you
crazy.
find that out? Did you open Google and it was like, oh my God, look, it's me?
No, 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 not at all. So when I was in California with Serena, her school is growing. And, I have a system of how to, my 101, 102, how to build
Mm-hmm.
beginners and create that. So I brought that over to California, and it was bumping, it was growing. And then COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and Serena are looking at each other like, now what? And, I said, well, I got a bunch of followers on YouTube. Let's
Mm-hmm.
start making videos. Let's start teaching to the world. And we didn't decide to charge. Like, we didn't say please donate here, or like we weren't asking for money, but we were asking for money for a donation called No Kids
Mm-hmm.
Hungry.org, I believe. And so we started filming video after video, started teaching every morning and afternoon. And so we popped out about 62 videos during
Wow.
COVID time. Yeah. And we were like just pumping them, and people
Grinding.
were just loving it. They were just writing these beautiful things about like how you're helping us through these tough times. And it was throughout the world, right? So it was really nice. And then what I did was I took these 45-minute classes and I cut them down, and I do 4-minute classes.
Mm-hmm.
And because the people can't retain a video
Yeah.
more than a minute. We're
Yep.
lucky if they stay here for an hour with us.
Oh, I know.
But it's so I make these short videos. And when I got back here in May, I made this video again, putting it out there. And immediately I got this email saying, hey, I represent, I'm working for Google and all this stuff. We like 3 of your videos and want to know if you want to maybe release one of them to us. And
Ooh.
I thought it was a joke at first. And I'm like, well, I said, sure. So, what do I have to do? And we started talking. He says, I like this video, and this video. We're looking at other videos. Google wants to make a commercial with Chromecast. And
Mm.
I said, Chromecast? And I said, okay. And we like what you're doing. So the cool thing, and what happened was, I don't know how many other videos they had looked at, but we negotiated, got got a price, because I said, look, these videos were really meant to help people. Nobody made money out of this. I'm out of work.
Mm-hmm.
Serena's out of work. Can you help out?
Yeah.
And so they helped out a little bit. It was great. And what happened was, I stayed in contact with him, and a week ago he goes, okay, we're going to choose your video. And I said,
Ooh.
oh, great, great. And I said, but you got to fix this video, you got to make this. So I did all these cuts and everything and sent it to them. And then yesterday or the day before, I talked to the guy, and he goes, here's the link. And I look at
Great.
it, and so before I looked at it, I thought this was going to be just like, I don't know what to think. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that my face wasn't even going to be on there. I thought it was just going to be my feet.
Yeah.
And and then I know that character, because I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
see Portlandia.
See,
He's
I
funny.
love him. He's hilarious.
He's funny,
SNL.
right? SNL. And quickly, what happened was I saw it, and it's me first, and I'm like, what is this? And then I see him trying to mimic the stuff, and then it ends with me doing the dance, the shine, and that was it. And I was like, okay, this is less than 3 seconds, but this is amazing
It
because,
is.
they were talking about it, how it might play on Times Square.
Wow.
And yeah, so and that again, it shows that I put it out there so people can just learn something. I'm not
Yeah.
the best dancer in the world or whatever, but there's something about what I love to do and put out there is that I want to share it. And if it makes you happy, great. It makes me happy that I can create that for
Yeah.
you. And
That's
if you don't like it, fine. You can tell me you don't like it, and that's okay. Not everybody's gonna like it, but
yeah.
this was a true test to like. I follow Tony Robbins a lot, and he
Hmm.
talks about the power of giving and not holding back. And so that's the best advice I could say is like, just give,
I
without thinking, without like just like
yeah.
holding back
Oh my
something.
gosh. I'm so glad you said that. One of my things is for people that give uh, and they think they're not selfish because they
Hmm.
always wait for that thank you. Like, oh my gosh, I gave you something and you didn't even say thank you to me. But if you're giving, give selfless. Don't expect a thank you. Don't expect anything back. Just give out to the world. Anything that you have, anything helps. If it's a pencil and all that, because I
Right.
think I think it's gonna mean a lot more if it's selfless. It's gonna speak more about your own um, virtues. Of course, you want to be polite and always say yes, thank you for your stuff, but it's amazing
Right.
to me how much people give and they always want to like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I gave them this much and I didn't even get a thank you, and I'm like,
It's
but
okay.
yeah, it is. But always give, and that was one of the things that my dad always installed in us too. um, Give whatever you have. He was big on picking up homeless people from the street and giving them
Oh,
showers.
that's
And
cool.
oh my gosh,
My grandfather would do that too.
isn't that weird? It's something about Latino men.
Yeah.
And my
I
dad
don't
would
know
just,
what it is.
I think, it's just giving a hand up to someone that you know is at the bottom of the barrel. And you just, just a shower and clean clothes can make someone feel, you know, a lot better.
I totally agree. I totally
Yeah.
agree.
All right.
And so
Well,
yeah, that's what happened with Google. So
oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Where has been the weirdest place where you have seen your videos? Because I know you also have controversy, like they ended up in China or.
Yeah, one of the craziest things, and I really it's crazy and it's happened, is that they'll put one of my videos that I'm dancing and
Mhm.
they'll put like some Russian song to it. It's not even a salsa or
Oh,
some
like they're dubbing your dancing.
right, right. But they love it. They're
Oh
like
man.
getting thousands and thousands of hits, and it's
Mhm.
not even salsa, but I'm moving to their music. And so I thought it was crazy to
Oh
see
my
that.
gosh. How do they
And
end
they
up in your
found
hands? Do people just send it to you like, hey, look, you're Russian now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Check this out in Russia, And so one thing that a friend of mine told me to do was like when you hashtag these,
Mhm.
hashtag like something in Russian, something in
Mm,
Chinese, or something like that, and
yeah.
those videos will reach them, and then they can do whatever they want with them.
And
But but that's the craziest, I guess. I don't know where else they're playing them. Maybe
that we
in
know
the
of, right?
bathroom, in the toilet.
Sabe that. Hey, you
I've
never.
had I've had women that come up to me and they're like, I don't like you, Nary. And I said, why? And I said, well, because my husband falls asleep with you.
Mm.
And what they do is I guess they're watching on their phones and then they end up going,
Aw. Well,
and I've
better
had
that than
pictures.
something else.
Ah, ya tú sabes.
Digo yo. I'd rather catch that yo watching your video de
No.
una vaina rara ahí que. I don't give, excuse you, what are you watching?
Excuse me, what are you watching?
You know what that
It's like
reminds me
that.
of? El comercial that was at the
El
State
comercial
Farm.
de State Farm.
Like, who are you talking, Jerry from State Farm?
What?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
really, Jerry, at
Nettie
3
from
a.m.?
from Salsa.
That's right.
We're gonna do that.
Oh,
I
that's
think
funny.
now that we can't get together and all of that, but I think one of the great things that we had as instructors was bumping into each other at the
Yeah.
socials or the events, and um, the Congress y toda esa cosa han sido canceladas. But what are some of your favorite events that you just really look forward to going? Not just because you were hired, but it's like, oh my gosh, I'm
Right.
not gonna miss this one.
Well, it's crazy. I think all the events are great. Some have really outstand out. outshined others in
Yeah.
different aspects, but what I truly missed was really a just a normal social
Hmm.
where the people that are happy
Yeah.
getting together. And that to me, I realized because I did my first social this past weekend,
Hmm.
in Naples and in Fort Myers. And just I was DJing and I was just watching and I'm thinking, wow, don't ever take it for granted again
Hmm.
if this is taken away again.
Yeah.
Because just watching your people, I mean, I had my mom, I had my dad in there and all that stuff. And it was really family. It was really cool. But, like I said, I know a lot of these poor events have taken a hit this year.
Yeah.
And so the best thing is that once all this gets better, is to really go out there and support them full out, because
Hmm.
man, they can take this away again. You
Oh,
know,
I know. It's
it's crazy, but I love ADC. ADC, the cruise. Gee, I never get enough of it.
it's a
I love
party.
it.
It's
Party.
it's one of my favorite cruises to see you because I see you just about everywhere.
Yeah, I'm like, hey,
It's like,
and we're
okay,
and we're dressed like cowboys, or
I
it's like elegant night, or whatever it is.
and there's Nettie, and there's Nettie, and there's Nettie, and there goes Nettie. And it's like, Bianca, didn't I just see you at the concert upstairs? No, but I came to the bachata room, and now
That's
we're gonna go see the
that's
show.
right. Now I got a DJ.
And now I got a DJ, so that's one of my favorite places to go and see you. And they always
Yeah.
catch you dancing on the deck, and they get those cool, nice
Oh,
videos.
I
But
love it. I love it.
let's get to the nitty gritty of this vegan lifestyle. And I know that
Yeah.
there's a lot of vegans out there, but I really admire you as a vegan because I like to call it extreme veganism and
Hmm.
and then the lifestyle that you're picking up that it's now part of you. But for anyone that's out
Right.
there that doesn't know what does it mean to be vegan?
So it's funny. I knew that we were going to be talking about this today, and I put it on Instagram.
Mm,
Um, what I get this question every day, at least once.
mm.
Neri, why are you vegan? Or what happened to you? This is what happened to you, Neri.
Ah, poor Nettie.
You know,
Now he.
right? And even at one point, my family was like, "What? What happened?" You
Mm,
know, and so some people think, "Oh, Neri got influenced," or and all these things. But it's really nice. Like I'm grateful for the people that come into my life, and like my ex partner. I'm grateful for her because she opened my eyes in things like this.
mhm.
And so I was the type of guy that was eating hot dogs in Coney Island,
Oh my
in
gosh.
Nathan's. Yeah. And I was just downing these things, and it was all
Mhm,
about ego and all these things, right?
mhm,
But one thing that I learned and about this whole vegan thing, because at first I was vegetarian, right?
mhm,
I became vegetarian or pescatarian.
mm.
I cut out meat first, and I used to have, Outback Steakhouse has
Yeah.
this
The
steak
onion.
called the onion, and I would have the onion, and I'm a thin guy, but I would eat, and I would have a 32-ounce porterhouse steakhouse,
Ooh.
and it was like this big every Friday. And I
Mm,
remember that not to get personal, but I couldn't go to the bathroom every day,
mm,
and you're clogging all these things, even though you're thin or whatever, you're clogging your body.
mhm,
And I ended up going to the doctor, and the doctor said, I was also eating McDonald's every day and all that
mm.
stuff. So the doctor told me, hey, you look young, but that's not going to last if you keep putting crap in you.
Oh yeah.
And so eventually, I started going into being vegetarian. I said, let me cut out
Mhm,
chicken and cheese. I loved cheese back then,
mhm,
and I was like, how? No, I can't. Well, anyways, I started seeing three films. Good thing for Netflix, right?
mhm,
Uh, there was Forks and Knives, right? And then there was something called Cowspiracy.
mm.
And then finally there was one they took out of Netflix. They took it out because the companies were, that are paying
Yeah,
money
yeah.
to give to Netflix said, hey, we don't want this video on here.
Oh.
So they took it out, and you can find it on YouTube. It's in Spanish and English. It's called Earthlings.
Mm.
And when I saw Earthlings, that did it for me. I was like, all right. And I'm the type of person, if you tell me, yo, Mary, what you're doing is hurting this, you're
Mhm.
doing this, and it's hurting you, I automatically start going, okay, then it's not worth it.
Yeah.
If somebody was hurting my family, please
Mhm.
stop.
Mhm.
or if I'm hurting them in some way, I'll stop. And so, yeah, I really got into it 5 years ago. I met with this trainer, who's, I mean, this guy is Diesel.
Mhm.
He's in Fort Lauderdale. His name is Corin, and he sent me a whole. I paid for it. It was like $500, and he goes, "This is your plan for working out." And I saw in there, I said, "There's no fish in here.
Mm.
What happened to my fish?" He goes, "No, you're going vegan now." I
Wow.
said, "Oh," and I said, "I can eat all this stuff and still be like healthy. I don't need
Yeah.
fish." And it started opening my eyes, and so that's what happened that day, which was May 17th, my dad's
Mhm.
birthday. And then I start seeing my family members, cancer this, cancer that, and everybody's just falling apart around you.
Oh
And so
my.
you're like, and people always say, "Hey, Neri, being vegan is expensive," which is not.
No.
Look, I'm in COVID. I'm in COVID, and I'm eating healthy. I'm not spending that much money going out and eating all this stuff. And so, like, to make it short, I've been through my ups and downs in life,
Mhm.
right? And like we all do. But this has been one thing. Like, I've never stuck to a diet. I never really stuck to a
Mhm.
workout. And anything that I've ever done, the only thing I've really stuck with was the love of my parents. I love them dearly, and that won't change. The love of dance, it hasn't
Mhm.
changed for me. And the love of animals, and I love animals. And
Mhm.
one thing that really clicked in me was like, if you love animals, then why are you having them murdered and put in your plate?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? And I love chicharron back then, all those
Yeah.
stuff. And then when I realized what it was, I went to a slaughterhouse. I went to see how it's done. I connected with a cow because I had never seen a cow. And when you connect with something like that's
Mhm.
breathing and seeing you, you're like, nah, I
Yeah.
can't. But that's me, you know.
Mhm.
And I'm 40. I'm going to be 41 in October
My
next.
gosh, you look
Yeah,
13.
I feel better than my 20s.
I was
I'm
gonna say,
telling
how
you.
do you feel, and when did you start to see like a true change in like your mood, your
Yeah,
energy?
like, honestly, like 2 weeks into it, I started seeing changes. I
Mhm.
used to have a lot of acne on my back,
Mhm.
and when I cut the dairy and all that stuff, it just went out the
Gone.
window.
Yeah.
And when you eat meat and chicken and things like that, you feel lethargic at the end. You feel
Mhm.
like you just want to go to bed. I felt that all the time. And once I started eating and changing my foods, I was like, all right, let's go
Yeah, you're
teach
full of
class.
energy. You're
I was like, come
fueled.
on, let's do this. I'm fueled.
Yeah.
And so I always, I I always thought whatever you put in is what you put out. And that completely changed my dancing too.
Mhm.
So not only did it change the way I eat or and how I feel, but it also changed how I saw people when I'm dancing with them. I
Yeah.
no longer saw a woman, hey, I could pull all these moves on her, and I didn't care about anything
Mhm.
but my moves back then.
Mhm.
Now I care about, wow, all right,
Connection.
Carrie, connection. I hope Carrie's had a good day. If she's
Mhm.
had a bad one, how can I make that better for her?
Mhm.
She's a mother, she's a daughter,
Mhm.
she's, all these things start coming into my mind before I even reach and hold your hand.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so that's why I remain vegan, because it's peaceful for me.
it is, and I'm glad that it's become part of you and part of yourself. It's like you don't wear it on your chest. I think it's just part of your innards
I wear it on
already.
my
I mean, it's part of your skin. You see what I mean?
it's all over my skin.
It's all over your skin. It just has become
Hey,
part of you. And I think
right.
that's the kind of the difference between an extreme vegan and someone that has picked it up as a lifestyle. Like we see, or at least I have seen since the time I've met you, how you care for animals. Like I see you taking care of them. I remember following the ducks. Do you
Yeah,
do you remember
yeah, my ducks, yeah.
following the ducks and all that? How do you feel about the extreme veganism that they
Well,
post the pictures and the videos, and it's like you need to.
so this is something that I always have a conversation with people, right? The word extreme,
Hmm.
right? I always flip it on them, and I said, how extreme is it that you're paying somebody to go do the dirty work and kill? I said,
Right.
if you can go kill and butcher your own animal and
Hmm.
eat it, then I'll have a different respect for you.
Mhm.
But if you're paying somebody else to do the dirty work and you just go, oh, food,
Yeah.
then that's extreme to me. That's
Mhm.
like, hey, you're paying somebody to do this,
Mhm.
right? And for me, it's like, how is it so extreme that I'm actually trying to do good, right? I'm trying to put healthy in me while at the
Mhm.
same time giving it back out. And I always say to people, how is that extreme? Like, I'm just trying to do what's right for me. Now, I have a shirt and I didn't wear it today, but it says, don't be mad at me because I'm vegan,
Yeah.
but b- talk to your conscience because that's the one that you should be mad at. It's like
Mhm.
your own conscience. And so I've lost friends because I became vegan,
Oh.
right? And it's normal because there's three stages to it, right? The first stage is laughter. They think it's a joke and they're like,
Mhm.
oh, Nary, you're not gonna last. That's what they would tell me. Oh, you're not
Mhm.
gonna last. So and so's putting this in your head.
Yeah.
You're not gonna last. Then when they see you that you're serious and that you're last, then they get mad at you because
Mhm.
they're like, oh, we can't hang out. I don't feel good sitting next to you. I
Right.
can't eat my food because I feel you're judging me, which I'm not. I'm not judging.
Right.
And then the third stage is they come back and say, look, man, I just found out I have cancer.
Mm.
Can you help me eat better? Can you help me because
And
I
then
want to
it's
live?
too late.
Right. And sometimes it's not, because your
Mhm.
body can regenerate
Regenerate.
itself.
Yeah.
And when you're putting clean stuff, then you can kill the poison,
Mhm. I
And
agree.
so, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I
So,
meant when I mean extreme is, for example, I
hmm
say I'm veganish. I will say that
hmm
my diet is at least 90% vegetarian. But I wanted to
yeah.
talk to you about the cultural part of it because I think that's where my problem lies. But I'll
Okay.
go back to that. The extreme for me lies where you have someone that cannot sit through someone else um, cooking, for example, un sancocho in DR. Like you
Right.
cannot stand in front of the cultural experience because you know that a cow was killed or they put
Right.
pork into esa cosa. I think that there's that you have the lifestyle and then you have like a cultural appreciation where you should be able to see the cultural experience. You don't have to partake, but you could at least
Right.
respect it because it's part of their culture. And for me, like that's the fear. Like for example, someone if I invite you to my house, for example, you see my mother cocinando un sancocho, I know for a fact
Yeah.
that you're not gonna hacerle desaire, you know,
No,
because
and yeah, I'm not gonna make you like. There are people that make you feel bad for doing that,
yeah.
right? I understand that I wasn't there. I wasn't always vegan,
Mhm.
right? So I think for me, and there's different ways that people do it, and I appreciate it how certain people do it. Like I had a guy that was in my face, like you are a murderer, you're this and all that. I'm like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
what? Why? I want to know why. But I'm the type of person. I'm like, why are you calling me a murderer? Why are you? Oh, okay. And it's all about education.
Mhm.
It's like educating people through, for me, compassion. If I show you compassion, I think my biggest thing is you got to love people so you can teach them to love animals or to
Mhm.
love themselves. For example, Carrie, I love you. I want you to, I do, and I love your husband, and I want your family to be healthy, and I would
Mhm.
be there to help you educate yourself on what you need to put in your system
Mhm.
rather than me yelling at you, you're a murderer, you're
Right.
doing this and that. It's like, okay, we know what the problem is, but what is the solution? How can I
Mhm.
help you? And so for me, I get it. There's some people that are angry. I was
Mhm.
angry for many years. I'm like angry at myself because I was like, I'm so smart, and I
Yeah.
knew I just didn't want to know. And there's people that just tell you, I don't want to know, Neri.
Yeah.
I had that conversation with my mom all the time. I said, Mom, I can show you a video where you got that food. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see. And so then we have this whole perception because we have dogs, right? We love dogs.
Yeah.
But if you knew that China and South Korea make leather out of dogs, so
Yeah.
sometimes you're sitting on a couch that's made out of dog.
Mhm.
For some reason, some people be like, "Oh, that's disgusting," but if it's a cow, it's okay.
Yeah.
So where does your kindness stop? Where is there a line that you say, "Oh, it's okay to kill this and not that"? You
Yeah.
know.
There shouldn't be
So
much of a difference.
there shouldn't be at all. I
Yeah.
mean, we're all in here and we all deserve love,
For
and
me
that's the
is
honest.
the cultural aspect, and I know that you've been to DR and you were dating a Dominicanita, so you know how we Dominican do. And I agree
Yeah.
100% because I come from a background where I saw my family raise the chickens, and I saw them grow
Mm-hmm.
the chicken, and I saw them kill the
Kill him.
chicken and cook the chicken and all that stuff. For me, for a long time, it has been like that cultural experience, that you
Right.
got to witness all of that stuff.
El
Um,
Salvador the same. Hmm.
how did you do in DR where you know how DR is, so you're walking down the road,
Yeah.
they have them in steaks, they have them all of that. So how did you do with that experience as a vegan?
So anywhere I go in the world, right? Not everybody's vegan, and I get it. And so I
Mhm.
go in there with a mindset of what my intentions are. I'm not here to, I would love for the whole world to be peaceful,
Yeah.
Um, but when I travel and I go to DR before COVID, I was going every 3 months. I would always ask, look, I don't want animal, all this, da 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 da, and they would make something special for me,
Mhm.
still delicious.
Yeah.
Plantains. Being from El Salvador, you don't have money to eat meat every day.
Yeah.
It takes money to eat meat when
Yeah,
you're
but
poor.
DR is kind of the same. I had an argument with someone that was debating because you really have to have money to buy animal products. 90% of the
Yeah,
diet is a vegetable or root, like arroz,
right.
ensalada, tomate, vegetales, and then you have like this little bit of beef because you can't afford it. So,
You can't.
yeah.
So we survive on rice, beans, right? I saw my family survive on that. They would do soups,
Mm-hmm.
vegetable soups, and all these things. And when they had meat, it was a big deal. It was
Yeah.
somebody's, it was Sunday or something, and I would see my grandmother kill it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. A lot of my family members couldn't do it. And so, for me, I like honestly like the reason why I'm vegan is to make sure that I'm healthy, so I can be an example
Mm-hmm.
of what is compassion. Like I'm not a perfect person. I've messed up in my life many times, but it's the process of how do you get back. And I love your shirt. I love what it says,
Mm-hmm.
veganish,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because vegan is not being perfect.
Right.
Vegan is a process where, look, I'm in my house and I'll show you. What
Mm-hmm.
are these called?
Bongos.
Bongos,
Los
right? And
bongos,
what are
ajá.
these made of? What are these made
Cuero.
of? Right, leather.
Mhm.
So I know sometimes, like, I just threw away my black leather couch. Not threw it
Mhm.
away. I gifted it. I gave it to
Mhm.
somebody that needed it, but I
Mhm.
couldn't sit in it anymore because in my mind, in my soul, I could feel there was a soul where I'm sitting and sitting
Yeah.
my ass on, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I also I love history. And I remember reading something about how the Nazis used the Jews, skinned them, and used them as lamps,
Yeah.
used their skin, all these things. And so they got the idea to do that
Mhm.
from slaughterhouses.
Yeah.
And so slaughterhouses taught the Nazi party how to create this for the Jews.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, wow, it's like it's incredible.
Mhm.
Pain is pain.
Yeah.
And for me is like, I can travel anywhere and I can see that they're not connecting with that
Yeah.
right now, and I'm not going to judge them,
Right.
but I can educate them. And
Yeah.
when
I
I tell
think
them,
that's the key point.
it's education, and I tell
Yeah.
them, look, I'm 40. They're like, what?
Mhm.
What's the secret? And I'm like, all right, here we go.
Oh, I know. And I think that the key thing is for people to they tend to see a vegan and they want to go automatically for the food, and they miss the other half of the lifestyle, that it's not just a love of animals, it's a love of creatures in general, like all
Everything.
humanity, everything, every ant and every bee and every mosquito, de todo.
De todo, it's
you
like it's hard for me because I don't like roaches.
mm,
And oh my gosh, there's times that I smashed one, a few days ago, and I was like, oh my, it hit me hard. Like, why? It was living life. It was
yeah.
doing its thing. I could have just easily taken it
Oh,
out.
I know. And my
And
kids, I'm afraid of reptiles. But we're in
mm,
Florida, so you see them everywhere. But when the boys were little, I had to stop myself because I also come from the background of you gotta kill it, you gotta mash it, you gotta get rid of it. There's nothing like
right,
agárralo y tíralo. So I had to stop myself because I don't want to.
Good.
I don't want to pass that stigma onto them or that little thing onto them. So I would stay quiet and I would say, "What do you want to do?" And it was like, "Okay, can I grab it?" I was like, "Yeah, you could grab it, but you have to be gentle." Like even
Yeah.
lizards and snakes and stuff. Yo estoy in the background like this, like, oh, you know.
But that's
But
awesome.
they grabbed it and I was like, "Okay, what do you think you should do?" And they were like, "Okay, we could put it outside in the bush." I was like, "Yeah, you could put it outside in the bush," and I would let them do that. And till this day, I haven't seen them cause any harm to animals or anything like that. I think that's a great lesson for moms out there that don't pass on your
Right.
fears and all that stuff. Let them figure things out. It's gonna teach them
That's
a lot more
beautiful,
along the way.
Harry,
Yeah.
because we got
Hmm.
to teach the next generation how to be kind and peaceful,
Oh
you
yeah, and it
know?
goes for all creatures and all humanity, especially with everything that's going on. If someone wanted to try to start taking on parts of the lifestyle, or because I
Yeah.
always say that if you try to if you try to go on the Atkins diet tomorrow, you
Mm,
va a fracasar. You know, I
yeah.
think if you
You're
take
going to
little
crash.
steps here and there, you have more chance of success. If someone wanted to try to start out, what do you think will be a good advice or a good place to
So,
start?
so one question I would say is if anybody wants to start getting into, let's say, going vegan or vegetarian, right?
Hmm.
Is ask yourself, and this is one thing that changed everything for me. And I have it in my bedroom, and it says, what I'm doing today, is it helping or is it hurting?
Hmm.
And so, are my actions, was I brought into this earth to hurt or to help?
Hmm.
And so you're creating something of mindfulness throughout your day. You wake up with that already in your mind, how you're going to act, how are you going to present yourself on that day. And so it's not just about a diet, it's not just about health. Unfortunately, us humans, we have this thing that if we do it for ourselves, it doesn't work. But I swear to you, Carrie, you would give your life for any of your children
Right.
because you love them. You love them. And it before yours, like,
Hmm.
and that's the thing about us is like I don't do this because of me. I do this because of others, and others meaning animals and my family and all this stuff. And then it comes back to me,
Hmm.
which is great. And so I always tell people, really, really see yourself where what is it that you want to do with your life? Because this is not just a diet. It's truly a way of life of where you're going to grow into another being.
A better
You know,
human, yeah.
yeah, and you're going to make mistakes. We're human. We're going to make mistakes and things like that, but the idea is not to give up, not to give up on hope, on love,
Hmm.
and love cures everything. It truly does. And if you can love others, and I teach this on is like when you love others, there's man, it's so easy to love yourself, you
Oh,
know.
it
And
is.
so, yeah, I always tell people there's this website called the 22 Challenge, the Vegan Challenge,
Mm.
and I always say, educate yourself, start out easy. Don't do it overnight because you're going to probably get sick. You don't know what you're just eating plants, you're just eating
Yeah.
fruits. And there's so many options out there on how to do this.
It could also be a lifestyle change, like maybe you switch your belt, or I think especially for the dancers that are watching, I think now being cautious of the shoes that you buy. And I'm so glad
Exactly.
that a lot of people like Gladys, like they went vegan, and I know that was a
Mhm.
drastic change to switch the shoes
Wait,
to
wait,
a
who went
vegan.
vegan?
The shoes are vegan now. Did you know that, dance shoes? There's options that
Wait,
you can do faux leather. It's
get
fake.
out of here. I did
Yeah,
not know that.
you could see it in the shoe thing in the description. It says vegan.
What? And
Mhm.
this is G Franco
Yeah, they
or
started
what?
to go vegan. And
Wow.
I know Very Fine Shoes has vegan shoes, and but
Yeah.
you take little steps. Um, uh, little steps. The belt or
And yeah, little things like
mhm.
kindness,
Kindness. Yes.
kindness, it really, when you're kind, you can't harm. That's the
Mhm.
that's the bipolar, right? When you're kind, you can't harm.
Mhm.
And
Is there
mhm,
anything in the vegan food side? Because I'm just thinking like my brother's a bodybuilder, so he takes in a lot
right.
of protein and all that stuff. Is there anything on the Latin dancer side that you say make sure you supplement on this, especially if you're doing like a high cardio and lifts and stuff like that?
Right. So many people are, everybody's body's different, right?
Hmm.
But what I've learned is that yes, everybody's into this whole protein. Like I gotta get my proteins in
Yeah.
and a certain amount of carbs. And I get it, but there's so many things that have like, chickpeas,
Yeah.
or garbanzo
Like
beans
to
and
make
things like that,
hummus.
right? Right, right.
Hmm.
And like again, the beauty is that there's so many bodybuilders out there that are vegan that have already done the research.
Hmm.
It's easy for me to go on my phone, hit on Instagram, and just hit vegan
Hmm.
bodybuilding list of people. Boom,
Yep.
boom, boom. There's like this new thing on Netflix. It's not new. It came out like a year ago.
I saw it.
It's you saw it? Do you
See,
remember?
I'm a
What's the
bodybuilder. I am so many crap. Everybody's gonna be like, coño, ¿qué ahorita en todo menos en misa? Because since my brother started bodybuilding, I'm just like in
uh-huh.
it. It's
Oh
oh
my
my
gosh.
gosh, what's the name? They have
The,
one, two, and three, and there was one competitor that was 100% vegan.
see, the man, that German guy. But you know what I'm talking about?
Hmm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger did this whole thing. If anybody knows, type it
Oh,
in there.
Generation Iron se llama,
No, it's another one I'm talking about.
which I'm gonna have
It's
to
called
Google it.
it's called the challenge, or the game changers. Game
Oh.
changers.
Hmm.
And so it talks about all these athletes being going vegan and how things are going great for them, But the honest truth is, everybody has a choice of what they get to do throughout their day. And my mantra is really, what I'm going to do today, is it going to affect anything that I care and love for,
Hmm.
including myself. And that's what's kept me on the vegan train, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, are my actions causing pain? Because if being also a spiritual and God loving man, at the same time, if my actions are creating pain, which of course I've done that in the past,
Hmm.
and do you learn from them, and how can you make them better?
Right.
Because you have how beautiful it is that you and I can talk and the world can hear us. A thousand people didn't wake up today
Right.
because you know or more than that. And
Hmm.
I learned statistics out there that there's people, if you know that a child is dying of hunger, you would do anything to help that child. But because they're not in front of us, it
Right.
just goes by us. But when you start realizing that, man, if we could not feed the grains to animals and feed them to humans,
Humans. Yeah.
hey, oh my gosh, look, world
I
hunger
agree.
is slowly ending. And
I
now we
agree.
don't have to kill these animals and now take over. Brazil's losing all their Amazon land because we need
Yeah.
more land for animals to make more burgers.
I
Doesn't make
know.
sense.
And it's insane. And the diabetes rates are going up, and
Oh,
cancer is going up, and um, it's just a life. I admire that, and I really urge everyone out there to. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go vegan, but we hope that from everything that we've spoken about, that you can at least take to be more human and to be more
yeah,
kind and loving. I
more
remember,
mindful.
and I pick a lot of things from my father and my mother. So I remember that he used to bring pennies to DR, and he would do a feast for everyone in the neighborhood with all the pennies that he
Hmm.
would collect for the whole year, so
That's
that he can
cool.
feed all the kids. And my mother donates clothes, and she takes them all the way to the campo so that the kids can, but
My
I
mom
would
does that too.
urge, I know, right? I would urge everyone to like evaluate and see what have I done. Meals on Wheels, go and sit down with an elderly and just have a conversation and see, how
Some
much you
sort of
can,
kindness.
some sort of
Yeah.
kindness, like pay it forward, and
Give.
don't do it just like you're saying, don't just do it on Sunday. On Sunday, I'm going to go and do my kind thing, you know, but wake up, like you're saying, wake up with something in mind on how you can make someone else's day better or life better.
It's crazy because my life, my life is out there, being a public figure.
Hmm.
Whatever happens, if I'm in a relationship, not a relationship, whatever happens to my family, whatever, somehow somebody knows.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've learned is that through all of this is that you're going to make mistakes. You're going to uh, do what you can to live your day, right? But
Hmm.
if you don't learn from it, then it's a day wasted.
Yeah.
And so for me, just again, being vegan is just another way for me to inspire others, because I get letters all the time. Mary, how do you do it? well, man, I tried it and I feel better. Or some tell me I did it for a year and then I'm now eating meat again, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, it's okay.
Just
Look,
bounce right back.
how can we figure, because how can I help you?
Yeah.
Because I had help too, you know.
And
Mm.
that's what's key. How can we help everybody? So we're almost out of time, and we're about to wrap up. But I just wanted to let you know some of the kind
Okay.
things that people are saying. Um,
What?
Georgie in Tampa saying that you're someone that he looked up to you, and
I
when you
love that
started
man.
dancing, y él dice, remember um, when he Ernesto and him tried to look like you,
Ah.
to do the Nettie look. Is that what you mean?
I had the mohawk thing going back then.
Uh,
I'm
and
so proud of all those boys.
I know
Yeah.
they're doing great, and it's Scott from Miami sending you his love too.
Scott, I love
Yeah,
dancing with Scott.
Scott is really cool,
Talented man.
people.
I'm always following Scott. Yep.
So I know he's
Cool.
really great. All right, so let's do our little fun. Are you ready?
Okay, let's do it.
This has been really cool for me because I get to learn a lot from people. So you can't think too much, and you have to
I
answer
love this.
as fast as you can.
Oh my gosh. This is
Okay?
dangerous.
Are you ready? You
Listo.
ready? Okay. Leader or follower?
Leader.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Compassion, love, and patience.
Last song you played on Spotify.
It is Paranoid Android by, oh my gosh. They sing Creep.
All right.
What? Paranoid Android. It's
Your favorite TV channel?
the Home and Gardening Network.
Morning, noon, or night?
Damn. All three?
No, you can only pick one.
Night.
Night. Pet peeve.
Pet peeve.
What
Oh man.
grinds your gears? What makes you mad, Nettie?
Oh, so what makes me mad is this.
Ah,
The
el
roll
de
of the
gane,
eyes.
el de gane.
Mm.
I can't do it now. No, I can't focus.
That one.
Oh
Like,
man. What will you do for 15 minutes of fame?
oh my gosh. Um, I don't know.
Da-da-da-da-da. Hey.
I'll do a Google commercial.
Yay! There you go. Uh, what's your bed size?
King size.
Hey.
Yay.
All right. Kill, marry, or fuck? Rihanna, Michelle Obama, or Scarlett Johansson?
Oh my gosh. Say that again.
Kill, marry,
Uh-huh.
or fuck? Rihanna, Michelle Obama, or Scarlett Johansson?
Okay, so I'm not killing anybody, but I'll knock them unconsciously.
Okay.
It would be Rihanna.
There you go.
Um, I would marry Obama's
There you
wife.
go. Yeah, that's wifey
Right?
material right there.
That's a shit. ¿Y qué fue el otro?
Scarlett Johansson.
Ah, perfect.
Right? She's
Yep.
gorgeous. Me too. I agree with you. Thank you, Nettie, so much. I love you so much.
Oh my gosh.
Anything that you want to plug and let everybody know? I know you're down teaching.
Yeah. So I'm starting my new website now. Salsa.com is coming out in
You
September.
guys can see
It
it
is.
down there.
Yeah, it's going to be, not only is it videos that are pre-recorded that you're going to learn how to dance. I have a special boot camp for those who have 2 left feet.
Mm-hmm.
I have also advanced classes, but I'm also going to be giving classes live in that program. So you get a membership, like 10.99 a month, and you get to take like 3 classes. And I'm also going to be doing like meditation and breathing classes, yoga classes on there, teaching you how to dress. I'm also going to be teaching you how to eat, exercises, what to do, how to wake up in the morning, how to go to sleep. All this advice is going to be on nowsalsa.com. But yeah, I'm excited about it. A lot of work ahead of me, but I'm really grateful that I have a platform on where I can help and just help make people happier, you know?
And
And
we're glad
so,
you're here
yeah.
for it too. I love you. You're
Yeah. And
one of
thank
my
you for
favorite
having.
people.
I appreciate it. Carrie, I really appreciate you, your husband, what you guys have done and created and continue to do so. And, you have my full support. And I love you all very much. And, kill okay.
I know, okay, okay. We'll see you soon down in Fort Myers too. Bye, guys.
Eso.
Thank you so much
Bye,
for tuning in
everybody.
and watching. We love you. Bye.
Adios.
¿Qué pasó?
Adios.